Well, hey there, fabulous authors. I have a bit of a horror story for you today and a word of caution, and we're going to talk about a couple of really important things. So here's the deal. If you've read the title of this video, you know that something absolutely horrible happened to me yesterday. My Facebook author page was shut down, like gone, unpublished. I was not allowed to republish it. It was a horrifying experience because I literally lost everything. Today, we're going to talk about three things: how to prevent this from happening to you, what to do if it does happen to you, and how to be prepared in case it happens to you. So stick with me. Let me tell you exactly what happened and then what you need to know to prevent it, to fix it, and to be prepared for it. So here's the deal. Yesterday, I had done some live broadcasts, I did some stuff over on my page, and I jumped back over onto my computer, and all of a sudden, I got this notification that said, your page has been unpublished. You are not allowed to republish it. You can appeal this, but too bad, so sad, you did something that violated our terms and you're gone. Now, this is really, really bad because all of my fans could no longer access me. It was bad because everything I had, I would have lost. I would not have been able to use that handle again. So instead of being able to say, look me up on social media, all social media platforms, my handle is the same thing, at k.m.robinson books, I would have had to give different handles, which would make my advertising, my marketing way, way harder and way more stressful. And there's more confusion, so people might not be able to find me. It is a huge, big, terrible problem. It would have been really, really bad, and I did spend a couple of hours nearly in tears. It was dreadful, and it was just a really bad experience. Now, thankfully, and this is the good news, it was fixed. Here's kind of the deal. We are 99% certain, because they didn't actually give us a reason, but we're 99% certain someone reported my page for abuse, and we're pretty sure it was one particular person who was angry that I did not give them a free book. Of course, we can't confirm that. We do not know for sure, but we're pretty certain that's what happened. So it's not that I had done anything wrong, but that somebody got mad at me and reported me. Now, this is terrifying, right? Because there are a couple of ways you can get this to happen to your page. You can violate Facebook's terms. So if you are using a business page on Facebook, you need to be very, very aware of the terms. They can be found on Facebook, and they tell you what you are and are not allowed to do. These are constantly changing and updating, so you do need to be aware of what's going on so you don't violate any of those terms. Now, I stay pretty up on this because I educate on this, so I know what I can and cannot do over on my page. So I'm pretty good about not having anything inappropriate in terms of Facebook's terms and policies over on my page, but people can also report you. So if Facebook thinks you are spamming people, or if you are doing something wrong, or if you have inappropriate content on your page, they will shut you down. If someone reports you, they will shut you down. And here's the deal. I know a lot of people are going to get stressed out because they automatically shut you down and then review it, which is a horrifying experience if you've done nothing wrong. But think about it this way. There are a lot of people out there with spam accounts who are putting really inappropriate, very, very graphic content out on the internet. And I would much rather have them shut the page down and then fix it later than to leave it up there and have people experiencing this. This is something a few months ago we actually experienced over on Instagram, where people were spamming the Bookstagram hashtag with very pornographic materials. Like, it was horrific. And it was up there for all of these teenagers to see who go through the Bookstagram feed. It's much better to shut down those accounts and then reinstate them if it wasn't an actual problem. So I'm personally glad that they shut me down and then reestablished me, just because of that overarching, it could have been something bad, and I'm glad that they would have prevented a person from putting bad stuff out there. But it does make life really, really difficult for those of us who did not violate the terms. So how do you prevent it from happening to you? Well, the first thing is, do not violate their policies. Make sure you're not spamming. Make sure you're not putting anything inappropriate. This video is directed toward authors, but I do know that some entrepreneurs hang out with us, so make sure you are not putting out anything inappropriate. I know in the photography world, because I'm a photographer as well, we used to have and continue to have a lot of problems with people who do more along the lines of fine art nude photography, and they have to cover certain things up for their photos. If they don't cover them up enough, Facebook can get mad, or if somebody gets upset, they can report your post. Now, a lot of newborn photographers have the problem of taking pictures of newborn babies, and they aren't showing anything, but they're also not wearing clothing. And on occasion, you get a person who is offended by this and report it for pornographic materials, and that page gets shut down. And I've had a number of my newborn photographer friends actually were shut down because of something like that. So make sure you're not violating their policies. Whatever you are doing, make sure you are in line with what Facebook says is okay. But you cannot control other people. There will be people who get mad at you and report you for whatever reason. At that point, what you need to do is appeal it. So when you go onto your page, you're going to have a big red highlighted bar, and it's going to tell you you are in trouble. Your account has been limited. It's been suspended. You were not allowed to reinstate it. Too bad, so sad. Appeal it if you feel like it. You will have to click on the appeal button, and you will have to go through the process of explaining, I don't know what's going on. Was I hacked? Did something happen? I am this person. So make sure you very clearly say, especially if you're an author, very clearly say, I am this person. I am not representing this person. I actually am this person, and I'm using it to promote my books, my events, my whatever. Tell them what you are doing on your page. And when they go to check it, they will see that you do not have anything inappropriate on your page, and they will reinstate it. Now, I will say, mine happened extremely quickly. Usually Facebook is not this fast, guys. I was reinstated within a day, thank goodness, because I was actually talking to people who had taken an entire month and 20 different requests before they were finally reinstated. So thankfully, mine was a lot faster than that. Hopefully yours will be too if you get banned. But be prepared, it might take some time to get it reinstated, and you might have to fight it a little bit. So to prevent it from happening to you, don't violate the policies, and don't tick people off, I guess. Not that you can control that, but beware, sometimes that happens. If it happens to you, you have to go through the process of appealing it. You got to click on the button, you got to submit it, and then you just have to wait. There is no real way to contact Facebook. There are no email addresses, there are no phone numbers, there are no chat boxes. The best you can do is go to a community, and at that point, you're just going to be talking to other community members. So literally, at this point, the only thing you can do is click that appeal button and wait for them to check your account. At that point, you just kind of have to let people know, hey, my Facebook is down. You're just going to have to deal with me here. And just, stay tuned for more information on this. There's not an awful lot you can do. You cannot fix it. You cannot lobby them to get this taken care of. You cannot make a phone call. You just have to go through the appeal process. And most of the time, they will take the time, hopefully, to check your account and make sure it's okay. I did get a message saying, this was inaccurately suspended. We're sorry. In the future, it could be suspended again if you violate our terms. So make sure you don't do that. Here are some guidelines just in case you don't know. So if it happens to you, go through the appeals process. Now here is the main point I wanted to talk about, the third thing we were going to chat about, and that is being prepared in case this does happen to you. Now, if you've hung out with me, you know this is a big deal. This is a thing, and I talk about this all of the time. You have to be prepared in case something happens to your social media platforms. That is why I scream from the rooftops that you need a newsletter list. You have total and complete control of your newsletter, your website, and your blog. You do not have control over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, any of the other social media platforms. When you are on these social media platforms, you live and die by their rules. You live by their policies. You must go with their terms. You must do what they say. They can limit what you do. They can limit what you post. They can limit how and when you post. Think about it. Twitter gives you 140 characters. Your post cannot be longer than this. Do you control that? Nope. Facebook. Facebook controls when and where you can post and how and what format. Instagram controls when, how, and where you can post. Now, they give you a lot of freedom within this, but if you violate their policies, they will take you down. I got shut down, guys. I didn't do anything wrong, but somebody reported me for doing something wrong, and I got shut down. If they had not reinstated my page, what would have happened? I would have lost all of those fans. I have no way of contacting those fans through Facebook. They're gone. They don't know what happened to my page. I have no way of telling them what happened to my page. I have no way of giving them a new link to a new page. I have no way of reaching out to these people. I am magically gone. Yesterday, I had some friends of mine check my page. It would not load for them. It kind of said that it was still a thing, but it would not load for them. And they would not have any idea what was going on if I had not been in direct contact with those people. If you lose your social media platforms, and you can lose them like that. I lost it like that. I had no warning. I had no inkling that this could even possibly happen to me, and it was gone. If they had not reinstated me, I would have lost it all. All of the work I had done, all of the live videos I had done, everything I had posted, all of my conversations, all of my messages. What if I had been in contact with someone who was going to buy my book? And I was telling them what they kind of needed to know to decide whether or not they wanted to buy my book or my swag or come to my event or whatever. And I just lost all contact with that person, and I lost that sale. Now, that's not necessarily the biggest deal in the author world because you don't make a ton of money off of your books. I get it. But for those of us in the business world, what if I had lost a sale on one of my courses? That would have been a huge hit for me. What if I had lost a consultation that I was going to do? That would have been a big hit. What if I had lost a book cover or book trailer design job? That would have been a huge hit to my bank account. I do not have control of social media, and you do not have control of social media. You cannot tell Facebook what to do. You live and die by their policies. So it is essential to have all of your people, or as many of your people as possible, in one central location that cannot be taken away from you. And that is going to be your newsletter. So yes, you have control of your website. Yes, you have control of your blog, but you have direct contact through your newsletter. So they would have to go to your blog, they would have to go to your website to see what you are posting there. Your newsletter goes directly to their inbox. So let's pretend my page has not been reinstated and I now have to inform people. What do I do? Sure, I can post about it on Instagram, but only my Instagram people will see it. Sure, I can post it about it on Twitter, but it's probably going to get buried in the feed. I no longer have Facebook, so that's out. So really, I turn to my newsletter, where I have most of my people on my newsletter, and I go directly to their inbox. It does not get lost. It does not get deleted. It does not get buried within a feed. It is not ranked within an algorithm system except for Gmail, because Gmail and Google now have those charming algorithms that kind of put some of our emails in your spam box. If you have not heard about that, guys, if you have a Gmail, you got to check that spam box or that others folder, because it will take a lot of your emails and drop them there because of their new algorithms. But you have total and complete control of your newsletter. You decide what you say, when you say it, how you decorate it, how you lay it out. You decide what videos you show. You decide what quotes you give people. You decide what pitches you are going to send them. Please don't be sending out pitches in your email, guys. If you haven't learned that, you got to take my newsletter course. Super important. But you decide what you are sending out in your newsletter, and it's really, really important that you have that, because that is your established connection with them. Even if Facebook goes away, if your page gets deleted like mine did, you still have your newsletter. If Instagram decides you can no longer post photos about books, like Bookstagram photos are banned for life, what are you going to do? Go back to your newsletter. When Twitter goes under, and they will if they don't make changes, what are you going to do? Go to your newsletter. You have your people on your newsletter, and it is so essential that you have this newsletter, because this is your established connection with them. It goes directly to their inbox. The only way they will not see it is if they intentionally choose not to open your email and or delete it. They have to make that active decision to not get your information. On social media, they could just miss it. They could take a vacation. I was just talking to one of my authors today. She missed one of my big free webinars because she had taken a social media vacation and did not know about it. She's really, really upset about it. If she had gotten that in her newsletter and I had not sent that out in my newsletter, that was something I did exclusively through one particular avenue because I was testing something out. But if she had had that in her newsletter, she would have known about it and she could have been there. Or my newsletter in her inbox. You get the idea. Having that newsletter means that your information will always get to your fans. You will not lose them. People cannot take your newsletter from you. They cannot take your email list away from you. So it's essential to have one of those. And that is how you are prepared to handle these social media catastrophes that may or may not come up in your brand. So here's the deal. I have some really valuable resources for you in terms of your newsletter. I want you to check it out. I do have a newsletter masterclass. It's called Newsletters for Authors. It's coming up right around the corner. I've got a couple of dates coming up for you guys, and I want you to check it out. Go to newslettersforauthors.readingtransforms.com. That'll give you the days and the times of the ones coming up. I'm giving you 5 things that you should be including in every single one of your author newsletters. These are tweakable, these are changeable, so that you can use them again and again and again in every single one of your author newsletters. And then I've got some really amazing, super value-packed bonuses tucked away within this masterclass webinar. So I want you to check out newslettersforauthors.com. We're going to talk all about why it is so important to have your newsletter and how to build it up so that you've got a really, really good, strong, valuable, engaging newsletter for your fans. We're going to give you everything you need to know about these 5 things that are really going to help in all of your newsletters, plus the extra bonuses. Now, I have received amazing quotes from people who have gone through both the bonuses and the masterclass webinar, and they have implemented these things into their newsletters and seen amazing success literally within an hour of sending out their next email. It's that good. So you got to check it out. Super important. And it will be the one thing you can fall back on when Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever freaks out on you and you do not have the ability to reach those fans on social media anymore. Make sure, whether you take this masterclass webinar or not, whether you deal with the bonuses or not, make sure you have a list of your people. Even in things like your street team, you should have a running list of your people so you know who they are so you can email them should something happen. What would have happened had my street team, my Facebook group street team, gone down? I have a list. They're in my email list. And those people would have been able to be in contact with me and reached. And here we go again. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to unplug my phone. All right, so if you totally love this, you can hang out at readingtransforms.com. You know the drill. I'll put it all in the show notes below. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm K.m. Robinson, creator of Reading Transforms, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and keep your Facebook page safe.